Well, hi there, pluckers. Ivysaur Fingers back with you again for what will hopefully be an interesting lesson. It's my take on a single guitar arrangement for the classic song from the Eagles called New Kid in Town. Okay. Now, hopefully you've seen my playthrough that I did a couple of days ago. If you didn't, please go and check it out so you can see hopefully what I'm about to try and show you how to play. Okay, so I'm in standard tuning, no capos, and I'm playing in the same key as the Eagles recordings, and it starts off in the key of E. Okay, later on in the song it does briefly go to the key of G and then back to the key of E for the outro section. Okay, so my lessons on this song are going to be split into two. I'm going to do part one and part two. Part one, this lesson, is purely about the intro that I came up with. Part two with the rest of the song. Okay, so we didn't get overloaded. Okay, because there's lots of things in this song to learn in my arrangement, which is trying to keep as much of the original fiddly bits, I call them, in the arrangement. Okay, to make it more interesting and more realistic, shall we say. So I just go through the intro now that I'm about to show you and then break it down for you. Okay, so here we go. First verse. Okay, got that? So let's get to it. So starting off with this fairly simple bit. Okay, and all that is the second string open, top string open, and then the second fret on the top E string. Alright? Then we go into some double stops. We're playing two strings at the same time, okay, that bit. So what that is, it's the second fret of the third string, the G string, and second fret of the top E string together. And I'm using my pick to play the third string and my finger is plucking the top E string, okay. So you play those two together. I'm using my second and third fingers to do this, okay. So you pluck those two together, and at the same time, after you've plucked it, you slide them up 2 frets to the 4th fret on the third string and the 4th fret on the top E string. Sorry. Okay, so you go. Okay, got that, and then immediately you go back to the 2nd fret and repeat the whole thing. So you do it twice in effect, okay, so it's so you go da, and you go back to the first one, 2nd fret on the 3rd and top E string, pluck those two and then slide it up to the 4th fret like you did before. So it's got that, so far so good, okay. Then we got this bit. Right, so what I'm doing there, to play this, I'm borrowing the top 3 strings. Okay, this way just the way I do it. You don't have to. You could just do the top 2 strings if you like. Okay, and what it is you play the top 2 strings on the 7th fret bar like that. And you pluck those 2 strings and then you hammer up to the 9th fret on the 2nd string like that. Okay, so now you've got okay, then you take that 3rd finger off and just play the top 2 strings on the 7th fret, right? Then you play the ninth fret of the third string, the G string, okay, a single note. And then you do that 7th fret double note again and hammer up to that 9th fret again on the 2nd string. Okay, got that? So it starts on that double stop on the top 2 strings, 7th fret, pluck those 2 together and then hammer up to the 9th fret on the 2nd. Then take that finger off, 3rd finger away, leave the 7th fret double stop, play that one again, so it's play that 9th fret on the 3rd string and then play that double stop on the 7th fret, hammering up to the 9th fret on the 2nd string. Got that? So far. Then we do this bit, we go down, same sort of thing as you've just done on the 7th and 9th fret to the 2nd and the 4th fret, and it's like, you just do that twice. So you bar the top 2 strings on the 2nd fret and play those 2 and then hammer up to the 4th fret on the 2nd string, and you just do that just twice. So it's like hammer, play the top 2 strings, hammer up to the 2nd on the 2nd string to the 4th fret, and then you repeat that. Okay, so now we've got this. Okay, so far so good. Then we play a B7, sort of arpeggiated sort of thing. Something like that. B7, 5 downwards. Okay. Nice, that's fairly straightforward. Okay, so you've got that after that. Okay. Then we come to a slightly tricky bit, some more double stops, and it's like, okay. So we're starting off with the 9th fret of the 3rd string. I'm using my 1st and 3rd fingers here. You can use whichever fingers is more comfortable for yourself. Don't follow me if you don't. If you've got better, more comfortable fingering, do it. Okay. So 1st finger's playing the 9th fret of the 3rd string, the G string, and I'm using my 3rd finger to play the 10th fret on the 2nd string, the B string, and I'm using my pick to play the 3rd string, and my finger is actually plucking the 2nd. You could play the pick on both of those, so you could go. I tend to pluck it, gives it a bit of slightly different sound. Okay, so it's the 9th fret on the 3rd and the 10th fret on the 2nd. You pluck those 2 or hit those 2 and slide it down to the 6th fret on the 3rd, same shape, 6th fret on the 3rd and the 7th fret on the 2nd. So it's okay, got that? So you go, and then you, after a minute pause, you hit that one again and slide it down 2 frets. So it's on the 4th fret of the 3rd and the 5th fret of the 2nd. So it's like, alright. Okay, so you got, okay. Then you, again, a minute pause and you hit that one again. The one on the 4th, on the 3rd, 5th on the 2nd. And you sort of slide that off. You just go like that, take your fingers off and play the 2nd on the 3rd with the 2nd on the 2nd. Just those 2 there. You could either use 2 fingers, or I'm just barring it with the 1st finger. Okay, so it's right, so far then, slowly. So that one is, yeah, that first one is like, I play that 3 times actually. So the first one is 3 times, I forgot to get that. So you can either do it once or 3, I tend to do it 3 times. Alright. So once again, let's do that again, right from the beginning. Okay, that's as far as we've got. Then we've got another small double stops. This one is this bit. Okay, it goes. Right. What am I doing there? I'm doing the 10th fret on the first string. Sorry, start again. 10th fret on the second string and the 12th fret on the top E string. Okay, so it's like that. Again, you could just use your pick to play both strings. I tend to use my pick on the second string and pluck the top E string with a finger, but choice is yours. Okay, so you've got the first one, which is like, and the second one is this. Right, so it's the 10th on the second with the 12th on the first, and you slide that down to the 7th on the second and 9 on the top E. And then you minute pause again, and you hit that one again and slide it down 2 frets to the 5th on the second and the 7th on the top E. So it's like, okay, like that, and then you finish that off with a double stop, top 2 strings on the 7th fret. Right, so you've got, so you just slide that top 2 strings on the 7th fret, hit that, slide it down to the 5th fret, top 2 strings, and then hit it again on that one. So it's like, okay, so far, oh, this is making sense. Okay. Okay, I'll play it even slower. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so far so good, hopefully. And then we just play a straightforward E chord, E major, like that. Okay, followed by some harmonics. The 12th fret of the second string and the 12th fret of the top E string, those top 2 strings. You just very lightly, whichever finger you want, whichever finger's comfortable for yourself, rest it on exactly over the 12th fret. Okay, so it's right over the metal fret on the 12th fret. Very, very lightly, don't press hard, very, very light, just resting on the string. Hit the string with a pick and then immediately take your finger off. Okay, and you get the harmonic, and you do exactly the same thing on the 12th fret of the top E string. You go. Okay, so far, that's the beginning. Let's do it again. Okay, that's hopefully made sense to you. And then finally we've just got this bit. Okay, and that's more that double stop like we started at the start of it, where we did those two like that. Third string, 4th fret, and toppy string, 4th fret. And same idea, I'm using the pick on the G string and my fingers plucking the toppy string. And we move, so we do that like 3 times. And then we do down to 2 frets, 2nd fret, 3rd string and toppy string together. 3 more, so it's like, and then a single one, 1st fret of the 3rd string with the toppy string open. Okay, so E chord, and then he comes in with the first line of the song, you know, there's a talk on the street, that bit. Okay, so let's do the whole thing very, very slowly. Okay. You could actually do that one twice. Actually, so okay, so 3 times on these two and twice on that one. Okay. Let's talk on the street, blah blah. Okay. Now, hopefully that made sense to you. Okay.